Hi everyone, this is Diogo from Arista Tech, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can deploy virtual labs in a Windows environment using Windows Subsystem for Linux, Containerlab, and cEOS. I'll start by providing a quick overview. I'll talk about the prerequisites to set this up. I'll give you a high-level overview about the deployment steps, and then by the end, finally, we're going to go through the step-by-step process on how to do it. As you probably already know, containers are technologies that run on Linux operating systems. So for Windows users, the most common approach involves installing a hypervisor software and creating a virtual machine. So it can be like VMware, VirtualBox, or any other hypervisor that you can install on Windows operating system. There are several options available, but unfortunately, many of them require the installation of third-party software. It involves some convoluted steps and downsides, caveats involving this type of deployments. So the good news is that for a while now, Windows has something called Windows Subsystem for Linux, which is a lightweight and simple way of quickly deploying Linux distributions that are tightly integrated with the native Windows operating system. So you have your Windows environment and you basically create a virtual machine that is integrated with the Windows environment. So you can have access to files from Windows file system in Linux or vice versa. It's a very nice solution that can give you a lot of flexibility. It's really simple to set up nowadays and can also provide a much better performance in comparison to other options. So before we start, just quick review of the prerequisites. Obviously, you need to have a computer running Windows. And in your case here, we're going to do the process using a Windows 11 computer. So if you have Windows 10, it's also possible, but there are some small differences in the steps you need to follow. So if you have a different environment, you might need to go a bit deeper into the documentation, but the overall steps are quite similar. So just look it up, the details and specific caveats on the documentation. Of course, since our labs are mostly using cEOS Lab, we're going to need to have the cEOS Lab image. So this can be downloaded from our website. You just need a free account. And in this case, since you're using a regular PC, we're going to be using the x86 image. Just make sure that you are downloading the correct version. Otherwise, the content is not going to be deployed. And last but not least, we need to have our Linux distro. In this case, we're going to use a Linux distro that is provided by Containerlab developers. So this one has everything that is needed already deployed and ready to be used. So you don't need to install anything. You can just deploy this machine and start using Containerlab right away. There is nothing preventing you from using your own distribution if you have a preferred one. An Ubuntu instance is going to be created by WSL, and you could just use that if you want to, but you see that is much easier, much more straightforward to use this Containerlab distro provided by Containerlab. So the high-level steps consist of installing Windows Subsystem for Linux, and more specifically, we're going to use Windows Subsystem for Linux version 2, WSL2. You're going to install the Containerlab WSL VM. You see that the process is very simple. Then you're going to import the cEOS Lab image into Docker as usual. And by the end also, the rest of the steps are pretty much the same. So you're going to just use Containerlab application as you would in any other type of deployments. Okay, so let's have a look on step-by-step process on how to deploy Containerlab and cEOS on Windows. In this case, you're going to be using WSL, so the process is nowadays quite simple. I have this article here published on our Arista Community Central that explains step-by-step. We also have the official documentation from Containerlab where you see all the steps here, and this is a bit longer and it covers more use cases with different versions of Windows, Windows 10, Windows 11. So it's a good reference, but I try to kind of summarize the steps and also add few notes about things that I faced during the deployments that I thought it would be good to highlight. So I'll be following those two documents. And I also have here the release page on GitHub where you can find the WSL virtual machine that is already prepared here by Containerlab devs with all the packages that you need, all the configurations that you're going to need to run Containerlab. And I'll also be using here the usual GitHub repository where I have the very simple topology sample lab that they're going to use in our initial deployments. So first of all, we have our requirements here, a PC running Windows 11, and virtualization is enabled. we have already downloaded our cEOS lab image, and we also downloaded this WSL image. As I mentioned here, it's available. You have different releases, including the latest one, and you can just download this from the Containerlab GitHub repository. So there are two other things that are highly recommended, even though they are optional. They are usually part of my workflow. So I have VS Code installed and the Windows Terminal app. And having said that, the first steps here will be, well, first of all, you can just install WSL, considering this is a completely new environment with no WSL enabled. You can just use WSL installed. You can check, first of all, if WSL is actually enabled, WSL dash version, and you see this message here that essentially says it's not installed. And to install, you can use this command. If you don't say anything, I'll install it. I'll install that for you. So I just aborted here, but this shows that there is no WSL installed at the moment. So you can just, we could either just wait, or we can just run the command here manually, and you see that now the components are being downloaded and Windows Subsystem for Linux is being installed. And one interesting thing is that by default, it starts also downloading Ubuntu. That will register this VM to be available for you by default. And we don't really need to use this VM. You can technically use that, and you can install everything from scratch yourself if you prefer to do it this way. But what we're going to do here, we're going to basically ignore this VM, and we're going to install our own VM based on the Containerlab WSL file. So feel free to continue this setup if you want to. It will ask you for the user. I'll just use the same username as my Windows machine, any password here, and you see that now we are on this Ubuntu machine. So it's pretty easy, straightforward. You can quickly install and spin up a Linux VM using WSL on Windows. But as I said, like, I'll just exit here because I'm not interested in using this VM. But now if you do WSL -- version, you see we have WSL 2.5.7.0 installed, which is good. We are basing our procedure on WSL version 2. And we can also use WSL -- list, and it will show us that this is the machine we have currently installed, and this is our default VM. So an extra step here, you can keep it, as I said, there is no problem at all. You can just have multiple VMs if you want to, but in my case, I'll use WSL -- unregister, and I will just remove this from our environment here. So I have no virtual machine at the moment. So at this point, you actually have multiple options, right? First of all, there are a few caveats that you may face in your environment. So let's go through this. As you can see here in my own documentation, this was the first installation, first time that we installed the WSL on this machine. So we got a message saying that there was a service that wasn't enabled, right? And so in this case, we did have to restart our computer before moving forward, right? So just be aware of that. If you receive a message about a service that is not enabled and that you need to enable this, you need to restart the machine, please do before moving forward. There are other couple of considerations that you need to pay attention on. So first one, if you already have this environment running, maybe it's not a fresh installation, you're gonna need to make sure that your WSL is properly updated. So you can use this WSL -- update to update your environment. And there is also a situation where maybe you had the previous version of WSL installed. I believe this can happen especially in Windows 10. And what you need to do is you need to install the version 2 and set the default version 2. So you have this command line as well to perform this action. And again, this is what I mentioned before, so you can just restart your computer if there is a service that is not enabled. So having said that, the next steps, as I was saying, include to download this WSL machine, this file from this Containerlab repository. So we already did that, so we have this in your computer at the moment. You can see here we have two things. You have the WSL image called clab in the version, and we already have our cEOS lab image downloaded as well. So it should be good to start. Based on my article here, you actually have multiple ways you can do it. In my article, I actually use this method of using the CLI to kind of import this WSL machine. So you register and you load it by using this CLI command. This is also available on the documentation from Containerlab. So you can just follow this and there should be no problem. An even easier method is just to double click this file and you see that the machine will start being installed and it's going to be launched afterwards. So as part of the procedure here, by default, it's going to ask you what is the shell that you want to use. I'll just use a default bash. And under the hood, it will start configuring a few things. So it's setting basically your SSH keys here, so you don't need to use a password if you are connecting to this machine. And that's basically it. As you can see, it's already deployed. If you'll check, we are using Debian 12. And if you also do CLab version, you see we have the latest version of Containerlab installed. So that's pretty much it. So you could just start using the way it is at the moment, and that should be no problem. You can create your own topologies if you want to from scratch, or you can clone some repositories that have the files already there. We're actually going to follow the second option. But before we do that, as usual, I prefer to connect through VS Code instead of just the terminal here. So you can just start your VS Code. Need to make sure that you have the extension to connect. I have this WSL extension. Another option would be to also have the remote SSH extension. As you can see, we are able to SSH, so technically you could use that extension as well. Both are very useful, so I'll have both installed. But the nice thing is that now, if you click here on the blue icon, open a remote window, you see that I do have few options here. The first one, connect to WSL. This should work for us because we have only one VM installed. But if you have multiple ones, for example, if you didn't remove the Ubuntu machine that has been installed by default, you would need to choose this connect to WSL using distro, and then you choose from a list. But since you have one, we are gonna go with the first option here. And you see that things are being set up by default here. You start VS Code on the virtual machine. So if I now open a terminal, we see we are on our virtual machine. So it have a native integration here directly between Windows, the virtual machine using WSL, and you can connect using this WSL extension on VS Code. So all the workflow we usually have with VS Code in other type of deployments, we are gonna have it here as well. And now the second step will be to import our cEOS lab version. And as I showed you, we already have the cEOS lab version downloaded. So if you know what it is, you can just do docker imports and you can just use the path for the file. Actually here is going to be in mnt, C, and then you have your users and your file structure in Windows. So that's pretty much it. So now if I can just use cEOS and the name for our image here. After a few minutes, now we have our image properly imported. If you check here, Docker images, we'll be able to see that now we have our cEOS lab image imported. So that's pretty much it. The rest of the operations are pretty much the same as usual. So if you're not familiar with how to use Containerlab itself, I would definitely recommend you to go through the previous articles and videos that I've published on Arista Community Central that will cover more details about how to actually create labs, deploy topologies, stop topologies, all the base steps necessary to start playing around with Containerlab and cEOS. I'll be publishing more articles and videos soon, where I'm planning to cover more advanced topics related to Containerlab, so you can get the most of your virtual labs using Containerlab and Arista cEOS. That's it for today. Thank you very much for your time. See you in the next video. Cheers!